I'm impressed that you decided to go for a run in your 40s.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, I'm going to go for a marathon and I'm in my 40s. Most people in their 40s are trying to figure out how to, I haven't seen my toes in a while.
Wow, we would have never believed this. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too. Muscles matter, because they do. Here I'm sitting with my friend and host Steve Southers. And
How we doing?
Yeah, doing good. And my friend Dave Sands.
Yep.
So we're here. We're all athletes, and we have a different look at this thing than a lot of people do. But we're glad you joined us for Muscle Matters. Hope you've enjoyed the previous shows, because like us, subscribe, share, and make comments. Steve is always reminding you to make comments. I forget that, but we're glad we're here bringing shows to you that, I know Dave has watched a few of them, so keep doing it. And Steve, I think, is, in my opinion, the expert, the guru, as you would call it, in town for supplements and training. So I'm going to keep sending people your way. And had a great show last week with Blake, and I like Blake's thoughts and ideas. Yes. And we'll be doing some more things with him. So Dave Sands, we're here.
Yep.
As Steve and I can't wrap our meathead minds around what you do. How did you get into ultramarathons? Because I don't think you just Steve, I'm not waking up any morning and going, I'm running 50 miles today. Unless somebody calls me and says somebody's going to chase you.
I got in trouble in college for running behind the offensive lineman. But I said I was following my line. Didn't go over well. I don't like that running thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is I never ran in my life. And I remember my daughter was in 6th grade, and she goes, hey, do you want to do a half marathon? I go, I get winded going down the street. And she goes, no, we're going to walk it. And I'm thinking, okay, my 6th grader asked if I want to walk a half marathon. I'm thinking, that's 3 hours to spend time with her. I'll do that. Let's do that.
That's an obvious answer. I get it now, Steve.
Yeah. Well, and so we get
he
to
was
there.
Tricked into doing it.
Oh yeah.
By a 6th grader.
Well, we were walking. It was like a walkathon or something like that. So we get to the very front, and I see all these people. Like the sun's coming up. You can smell the air, and people are jumping around. Most of the people are racing. We were there to walk it. And they had their bibs on. Man, that's really cool. I was probably about 42 at the time, or maybe 41 or something. Man, that's really cool. So we ended up
impressed
walking.
even more.
Oh, yeah. So we walked it, and we had a great time. We got done, and I came home, and I said, I'm going to do a 5K. So I got an app. It was C2 5K.
So a 5K is
3.1 miles.
Okay.
So I did this little training thing for 12 weeks, and I ended up finishing it. And I remember I went right through the finish line. I'm going to do a 10K. And I said, why not a 10K? So I did my 10K.
So you had your app.
Yeah.
This comes in play here in a minute, Steve.
The app is fantastic. And then I did a 10K, and then I called my buddy who runs long distance or bigger races. I said, hey, got done with the 10K. It was fun. I had a great time. I said,
fun. Is that an adjective that I can say you and I would?
It doesn't compute. It doesn't compute.
So Monday comes around, and I go, I think I'm gonna do a half. And he goes, you totally can. He goes, let's go to Ventura and we'll run. And he goes, I'll run with you. And
I said, who is that?
Tim.
Okay.
You don't know Tim. He's a running friend.
So Dan came into the picture at one point.
Dan came into the picture a little bit later.
That's his best friend.
My best buddy is
Dan. His
Dan.
best buddy is built a little heavier than Dave is.
And he runs too?
He was running. He's not running right now. He
went into weightlifting.
He switched over to weightlifting.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Well, Steve likes Dan already.
Yeah. But Dan's legs have always been these just muscular legs. Yeah. So
and he runs distance with those things?
No.
He did.
He tried. Yeah, he did.
He did because his best friend did.
Yep.
All I can think about is a forest fire.
Yeah, but he did it.
Fly.
He got there and did it. But I finished that half marathon. I got back and I go, I think I'm going to do a marathon. And so I signed up for a marathon. And during that training period, it was like 18 weeks or something.
26 miles.
26.2. Yeah, don't cheat the 2. That point 2 means something.
I'm impressed with 26.
Yeah.
I'm not counting the 2.
Because that's about as far as I'd go would be the 2.
The point 2.
Yes.
Yeah, so I training for that, I went out to Vegas with my wife. My mom had a condo out there, and the girls went shopping on a Saturday morning. I want to run. So I called up the run store.
going shopping.
And I said, I'm not shopping. So I called them. I said, hey, do you guys have any fun runs or anything, or a local group that gets together? They said, there's a trail race. I'm like, what trail race? I said, I've never done a trail. They said, come on out. You'll have a good time.
That's how it starts.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I got there. It was fantastic. Oh.
Now, how far was that?
It wasn't long because I had my wife gave me 2 hours.
2.2 is long for me. So.
She gave me 2 hours, so I looked at all the time and things. So I picked a distance. It was a weird
I've been
distance
running
too.
while my wife's shopping.
Yeah. So I picked a time that while they were shopping, I think it was like 15K. It was a weird number. So I ended up doing that. Had a great time. But I said, this is what I want to do. I want to be out there because I love running long distance by myself. So I said, this is what I want to do. I want to run trails. So then I finished my marathon, and I called my buddy. I said, marathon was great. I said, do you think I could do an ultra? And he goes, if you do it, I'll pace you. And he was already doing ultras at that time, 50Ks and stuff. And he goes, there's one in Ridgecrest.
That just rolls off his tongue so easily.
It just makes it sound effortlessly. Like, hey, no, I just went for a run, and I went for a longer run, and went for a longer run, and then I went for a longer run.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how funny running is. Once you start running these distances, I set my clock to 5 mile increments because it reminds me to eat. Because with distance running, it's all about eating and hydration. Probably like your bodybuilding, what you put into your body fuels you to do your job.
We call it garbage in, garbage out.
Oh yeah, so
it's Geico, good in, good out.
Absolutely.
Garbage in, garbage out.
So you're always thinking macronutrients. What am I putting into my body? What's this going to do for my body? So the whole time you're doing this, and I set my clock for 5 miles, and you'd be running and your clock would go off and go, oh, it's 5 miles. And you'd take your nutrients and start running again. You'd start running, and it'd go ding. Oh, it's 10 miles. And you take some more. And after a while, you're thinking, I don't know if it's 8 miles am I on 13, 15? Where am I at? You have to look at your watch to find out how many miles you're at. But your body's just in auto mode, and you're just zoning out.
Is that runner's high they talk about?
I don't even know. I don't even know it's runner's high, but it's just you just get in a zone where you block everything else out, and you just keep running. You just keep running and running and running. So. So that's I did my first ultra marathon in Ridgecrest, and just about died on that one because I have a little bit of high blood pressure. So at that time on my first one, I was still watching. I didn't want to take in any salt, so I did my whole race without salt, and I found out that that's not good for the body. I just about killed myself. But I finished that first one. But after that, you kind of learned, okay, I need to be taking in salts for that to get the sodium levels up in your body because you're sweating it all out. Mm-hmm. You need some kind of sodium going through your body. So it was a learning experience. And every time we had an ultra, we usually did about 3 per year. And every one we would have, you'd always fine tune what you're doing, and had some really good runs and some really fun things, and ran all the way through 2019, just about to the pandemic, and the pandemic hit, and I was 48 at that time. So you want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Where I was at? So I hit about 48, and I remember at that point I was running 3 ultras a year, and I remember I worked for full time, but I'd go to pick up my briefcase and my shoulder would hurt, like lifting things, like small things. I'd lift something else, I'm all, man, I said, I'm struggling just like lifting like normal weight stuff. And at that point, I was down to about 152. And it's a kind of lower than I was in high school, because when you're running long distance, you want to be as trim as possible, less weight, the longer you can run.
You don't want to be built like Steve.
No.
Running with the wind at your pushing you backwards, and you've got this big sail as shoulders, broad shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you kind of say that. I remember I was up in Monterey one time talking to a long distance runner. He was a doctor, a rheumatologist, and I said, I'm thinking about lifting some weights. And he sits back, and he had all this gray hair and a gray beard, and he sits back, he goes, why would you do that? And I'm all, well, I said, I want to like maybe cross train. He goes, all that is just wind resistance. He goes, you just need to be as narrow as possible. He goes, to cut through the wind. I'm all, wow, that's hardcore. I said, okay, I get
That's
it.
my goal.
Less wind drag.
Steve's like, I know I don't run for a reason. That's the wind drag.
You got some wind drag.
I don't ever have to worry about that problem. If I'm running, it's scary. Trust me.
If Steve Southers runs past me, I'm not questioning it. I'm jumping in and running the same way. Something scary. Something scary.
Yes, I've lost a battle and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
That's funny stuff.
So I hit about 48 and I was starting to feel some of these aches and I was starting to think, you know what? And it was right, or 20, I was about 2020 hit and I was thinking, this is about the time of life. I should probably start thinking about doing something a little bit different. So I started indoor cycling, one of these Peloton type things. And I was loving that. And then I started in 2022, pretty much the beginning of last year, started lifting weights. And then it's funny because I went from running 6 to 7 days a week to doing bike and running, and then to just doing just the bike and then lifting. And now I'm struggling just to get on a exercise bike. All I'm doing is lifting now. And I'm just having a good time.
I saw him come into Bible study. And I haven't seen Dave like in maybe 3 months. He comes in and he's sporting some arms. I'm like, Dave?
Well, especially when you start with noodles.
It was funny because I go, Dave, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm working out. I go, obviously. He didn't have the guns before. Yeah. And I go, what the heck happened? And he said, I've seen the light. No, he didn't say that.
It's okay.
I crossed over.
Yes, it's okay. It's an ugly poison. We talk about it all the time.
It's
a very ugly poison.
Oh, man.
It's funny because Dave's best friend, Dan Clinton, crossed over about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so he would always talk to me about working out and stuff, and those young guys that are training, they're like going, "Oh, you want to come work out with me?" I'm like, "No." I get scared when people ask me to do that. Yeah. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that because I just like my wife goes, "Want to come to Orange Theory?" I go, "Why?" She goes, "What? I just want you to come work out." I go, "No, there's another reason. You want to see me struggle with the cardio, and you want to laugh at me."
One or two things are going to happen. The competitive side's going to kick in, or you're trying to embarrass me.
Yeah, so his buddy has done a great job.
Yeah.
Got all the gym stuff.
Oh,
his house and stuff. So when I asked Dave, he goes, I just think it was time that I needed to do something because he was saying injuries were starting to pop up.
Yeah.
And I felt I wasn't the best at lifting things.
Yeah.
And so you always want to get better to open that peanut butter jar for your wife.
Yeah.
I give her such a hard time for that one.
It's just this. You want to feel like a man, honey? You got it, baby.
There it is.
I give her such a hard time for that one because she's a power lifter.
Yeah, she is.
I always tell my wife, I go, you did the hard part.
Oh, yeah.
You got it loosened up.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah. So you switched over.
Yeah.
Now it was very important, Steve, and this is for you guys out there, that I like what Dave said because he had an app when he started running. Because he showed me the other day he's got a workout app.
Yeah.
And I think it's very creative because how many times people don't know how to work out, Steve?
Yes, very true.
They'll come to Steve and Steve will take care of you. I guarantee you that. But I appreciate that Dave has taken some initiative and put it in because with the bug that he's caught, it's called iron poisoning.
Well,
it will build up in your body and in your iron, and you'll want to keep going forward, and then you have to get a little more creative with workouts.
But I think it's just be left over from his running because he's used to having guidance as a runner. He's used to having that. Oh.
I'm very disciplined, and I've been that way with running. I map everything out for the week. Like, what am I going to do? Like, short run, rest, short run, long run. And now I've got my app.
He did. He was showing it to me.
Yes, he's going to be such a good bodybuilder.
And he tells me, he goes, this is a push, pull. And he goes, you can add this here. And I said, I go on the internet and I just take as much stuff as I can and just trying to be healthy.
Just don't listen to Liver King. I think they took a lot of stuff off. It's not coming to the top of my feet anymore.
Yes, he is falling.
Yeah,
but he made his money.
Yeah.
How did the pandemic affect you as a runner? I know how it affected most of the meatheads in the world.
Zero. That was because if you think about running, you wake up, the pandemic hits. So what do they tell you? You can't go in a building. Fine, I don't want to go in a building, and you can't be within 6 feet of people. I don't want to be next to 6 feet of people. I want to be by myself. I want to run down a long line or up a mountain or be by myself. So
Matt, did you notice any of your kids? And the reason I'm asking is because I know so many things were closed, the parks, things like that. Were the trails for you guys closed, or were they
no.
still just
nothing? The only thing that changed is all the races pretty much stopped. All the road races stopped, but I stopped doing. I don't like road races. I don't even like doing a 5K road race anymore. And it has nothing to do with it. I'd run a 5K on the dirt, but I just don't like the roads. But all the road stuff stopped. Some of the trail races went on, but most of the organized events, they all stopped. So basically, pandemic hit and everybody stopped producing anything.
Another question that's going to be a pandemic question.
Yeah.
How many of your people ran with masks?
Oh, none. Zero.
Okay, I just wanted.
Actually, one person. There was one person at the very beginning, and she goes to our church, who's a big runner, and so she started running. She goes. She wanted to be real cautious at the beginning of the COVID, and so she put on a mask and would run, and I was doing the run group with the church and
squad runners.
Squad runners. And then she when the pandemic first hit, she was running with the mask. I said, "Man, I give you a lot of props. That is not for me." I said, "I can't do that." So it even hurt squad runners. I think the pandemic is before the pandemic. That was really a neat run group that we had at VBF, and it was neat to bring people up and to help them get running.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because you started one at the Cal State campus.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of people that lost a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful ministry. It was a fun time, but the pandemic hit and that got squashed. So any group activities pretty much got squashed. Just by yourself working out or running, nothing.
I would always see Dave on Sundays, and then I would see him on Fridays. But I would see him during the week, but it would be when I was driving to the gym, and I would pass him, and he was running. I say, "Hey, I saw you today."
Yep.
And it was just because we live in the same vicinity. But I would always see him. I go, "Hey, you had this on," and he would always run with the right gear on and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but he would be out there running in winter, in summer. I mean, we just, it was. I appreciate the dedication, and I think that's what people lack. I think sometimes. Is we can even use another word, consistency.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the best word.
Because it's that's what paid off.
Yeah.
And I think Dave, would you tell the audience that that's what you brought over from running?
Oh yeah.
Is being consistent.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's and I'm nowhere near bodybuilder or anything.
I'm sitting here looking at his tricep. Look at his tricep.
No, I'm just trying to stay healthy now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
it's discipline.
You're bit. Just admit you're bit. You have something that is completely scripted.
Oh yeah.
Once it's scripted, you're bit.
Yeah. You're in it.
You're not just working out.
Yeah. We're in it.
So how's it affected your apparel?
Oh yeah, everything's changed. Yeah. My shirts.
Did Carrie, when you were buying clothes, she's like, whoa, what's happening here?
Oh yeah. Everything starts fitting different and everything. Now
you walk by the mirror.
Oh, hey, look at that.
That wasn't there when I was running.
Yeah, exactly. And pants are starting to fit tighter from doing leg. I used to avoid any kind of leg workouts because you want to save your legs when you're running. Now if I'm just lifting weights, and now you want to work legs, so now your legs are starting to get bigger. So,
Steve, would you say that a runner would have a bigger propensity to building a larger calf and a larger quad if they came over?
Not distant runners.
Yeah.
Just because it's more. It's not as explosive as a sprinter. And
so the white and red. You're not going to come in with the benefit.
And so much of the glycogen is ran away, so there's no place for the muscle to build. Yeah. It's like you.
So that was it. So this is what I'm impressed with Dave, Steve, is that he does have a higher degree of white tissue because I can see it. I mean, audience probably can see. He's when he lets his arm relax, you see a tricep. You usually don't see that with people that don't have a lot of white twitch muscle cells. And so I think Dave is going to be bit hard. I think he's starting to fall into
what he's finding out is those fast twitch muscles he hasn't used for a while are starting to love life and they're coming back and everything's getting round.
What do you mean I'm starting to love life now? I loved life before.
No, you didn't. There's no way you love life running. No, there's something wrong. I'm not buying that.
No.
If you're running and there's not some mass creature behind you with a butcher knife, no, something's wrong.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, if I see him running, he'll probably be running without a shirt on because he's showing his.
Oh, yeah, that's coming.
He's showing his
Yes,
six-pack
yes,
on.
yes.
The little pec lines.
Yes.
Well, but you do have that now,
Okay,
Dave, because I've known you. And when I saw him the first day, didn't I say, "Whoa, what the heck?" Because Steve, haven't you and I always judged bodies based on appearances, and it's something we just naturally do, because so many people come up and they go, "What do you think?" And now what Steve and I, they're asking Steve and I in a different language is, "What do you think? Do I have the physique? Where can I go with this?" Right, Steve? It's like
I just told that to a young man at the gym today. I said, because he's interested in bodybuilding. When we were talking, I said, you can't fall in love with yourself. I said, if you fall in love with yourself, you're not going to go anywhere because you have to be your worst enemy. Yes. You have to be the most critical person. And when you see somebody, you said, hey, how am I looking? Oh, that upper chest sucks there, buddy. What do you mean? No, you've got a good chest, but it's just not up here anymore. So it's that eye.
It's a sickness.
Yes.
Because we get asked that question a lot.
Well, it's also the same thing that like I told you when I started running and you do a 5K. 5K is like going to the gym once a week. And then, I can do that. And then what if I do 3 days a week at the gym? And that's the 10K. And then you end up going to the other thing. I'm not going to get to the ultra marathon. That's the people that are doing twice a days. We're not going there or doing anything crazy or. So I haven't got that far.
So you're noticing the clothes are fitting different.
Yeah.
And as other people have probably noticed it too, right?
Yeah.
And we say this, and if you're out there, you can hate us, but it's the only sport you can wear.
Yep.
Because people didn't come and go, oh, you're a runner. I can see you're a runner. Unless they see you running or in a race.
Yeah. No one knows.
But here they're like, oh, so you work out.
You're doing good. But you know what? It also gives us a chance to share too.
It does.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Steve and I went through our whole life just saying it's the only sport you can wear.
Yeah.
And,
I agree. It's interesting thing to say. It's interesting because I think anything we do, it gives us the avenue to share our faith. And I remember my very last ultra marathon I was in. I remember, I think I shared this with you.
I think.
I went to get my bib that day. It was the day before. And I go up to the.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
What's a bib?
A bib is a square number.
Okay.
Your number. So everybody
when you say bib, I think food.
When you were talking about eating every 5 miles, he was thinking, "Have I eaten today?"
Yes.
Yeah. So my number. So I go to get my number, and I go up there, and they pull the thing, and I look at it, and it said, Dave Sands, and said 666. I'm all, huh. Okay. And the lady looks at me, and she goes, "Are you okay with that?" I go, "Yep, I'm gonna be just fine." And I wore it the whole time, and people would stop me on the trail and say stuff. I go, you know what? I said this has nothing to do with who I am. I said I'm a believer in Christ. I'm a Jesus follower. I said he's in my heart, and I said this number doesn't mean anything to me. And they're all, wow. And so I had a couple conversations while you're running these distances, and people would see the number, and it sparked a conversation a couple times. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah,
it was kind of neat. I talked to a couple guys in our Bible study said, I would have sent it back. I'm all.
I remember our friend John McCormick. He has several businesses. And he got a business license that at the end said 666, and he tried to get it changed.
Yeah.
And the people were at the California the state court, the controller's office. It's like, well, no, you would have to change your whole corporation. That number stuck with your company, and he just shut that corporation down and started another one.
That's
he did
really
not
funny.
want it.
Yeah.
And I'll see John.
I gotta give you credit for that because I'm with everybody else. I'd have been, oh no, you're not getting me hit by lightning when I'm running today. Nobody.
Yeah. It was actually.
I'm just impressed that you can run and talk.
Yeah.
Like have a conversation. No.
And it was that was a rough ultra too. It was raining and it was muddy. It was
I think we can go into this conversation.
Yeah.
Of course we can. So I was telling Dave one day when I would come from the gym to the Bible study, and sometimes you'd go to the gym and you'd get in front of the wrong piece of equipment, and the female gender would come there. The real female gender would come there, and it would occupy your sight line, and you would have to like not look at that. And Dave goes, well, I don't have that problem. Remember I told you, remember we had this conversation?
Yeah.
And then I guess after the next ultramarathon, you go, I do have that problem. Somebody got in front of you that was a little faster than you.
Yeah, and you never want to be like you're following the next person. They're right there, so it's like, okay, you kind of back off to the side.
Dave goes, I never had that problem running. I go, okay. So he came back and goes, hey, I had to follow,
a person that was faster than me, but she was just marginally faster than me. But they're like, and they're going up the hill. They're right in front of me. I'm all, no. So you pull off to the side. And let them go off to their side, and we'll
it was a funny, just the difference of sports. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's the tushy area of a female.
Yeah.
I work out by myself now at home, so I have a whole little gym in my garage, and it's a nice. I got a nice little setup, so
you
I
don't
enjoy
see the
it.
new fashions come around.
What's that?
You don't see the new fashions come around.
Oh no.
Do you see the new fashions over at?
Oh yes,
NOS?
everybody's an influencer.
Yes.
Everybody's an influencer.
They have their cameras out and they're videotaping
makeup,
themselves.
hair, Lululemons, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, whatever it is, they have it. There's actually a young lady, and I'm gonna give her a shout out. Her name is Ashley Main. I'm gonna give her a shout out, and I'm sorry, Ashley, I really can't remember the name of your clothing line, but she's a young lady, and she's here. She's actually she's a pro. She's stunning physique.
Oh wow.
And her name's Ashley Main, and she has a clothing line, and a lot of the girls rock it. So give her a shout out for that one.
Yeah.
cool.
Congratulations. Takes a lot of effort. So Dave, as you're going down this fitness trail, I know you had the and I'm not saying you're competing, but do you have some goals?
Yeah, and I think my only goal, and it's just like running, is just to get a little bit better every day. It might not be every day, but every week, just to and I track my progress, and it has the line graphs, and I kind of watch where I'm at, and to see if I'm just a little bit better than the week before, and just trying to be just push the envelope just a little bit more and a little bit more.
So basically you're saying you're lifting heavier.
Lifting heavier. Yeah.
Is that a good feeling?
Oh, it's a fantastic feeling. It's a fantastic feeling.
Yeah. It, as you said, you had a hard time lifting your suitcase.
Yeah.
And you were losing weight. I could tell that you were going, hey, either when I was heavier, or this was easier.
Yeah.
And I think weights do make those kind of things more possible.
Yeah,
See,
especially-
you and I never have a problem when somebody says, hey, I'm moving this weekend. We know why they're asking. They don't want just our company.
No.
They want us to come, and they want to see that we're not all show, and we're some go. So,
Yeah.
you might get invited to move a few more
So
friends.
I used to have noodle arms, and I didn't own a truck. Never got asked. And no one ever asked. Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
The people know you lift weights now. It's coming.
Hey.
It's guaranteed. Oh, he lives. He'll help me with this couch.
I told you guys about my pool table, right? Did I tell you about
Yes.
my pool table? My wife sold her pool table. And so the guy
that's
pulled
not,
up.
That's not light.
And I told him, I go, honey, I'm not going to, lift a pool table because all the years I have a bad back if I lift something like a pool table. Now I can lift weights, but they look at me and they think I can do other things. So I said, I can tell them I'm not helping them. And so she said, I told them that. So 3 dudes pull up, and they aren't big enough, in my opinion, to lift the pool table. And they proved that when they got under it. So I said, well, you need to go get some more dudes. And they go, we're from Salinas.
Oh, no.
So I'm sitting there going, no, I'm going to have to lift.
Oh.
But then I wanted it out. So we got it all the way to the driveway when they're like, oh, and one dude's like, oh, I don't think we can get it. I go, oh, we're getting it now.
Yeah, this thing's gone. This is yours.
Because I'm not going to go knock on Fred's name
Yeah.
to put it back in my house.
Oh.
So I sent them off with this thing. But I did have to do it. And I was okay. But yeah, it wasn't my choice.
That's
So I told my wife,
I make sure I'm not home when they come over to pick things up.
well, my wife asked me, goes, could you be there when they get here? I go, sure.
Yeah.
But tell them to bring enough
Yeah.
people. So it is.
That's really funny.
So I love it. Steve, you have any more questions of Dave? I mean, I love the fact that I love the fact that we can talk to a real live person who made the transition, and that it's okay to change fitness methods, to change something that you enjoy.
Well, this the fact that his original goal, what he originally started in, and what we're talking about, he did it in his 40s.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
That was good,
that's,
Steve.
I mean, that right there. So many people think as they get older, they can't do anything. I mean, it's like they get to a certain point, and I normally laugh because people don't believe when I tell my age, and they look. I go, no, I'm old, and I'm still going. There's no such thing as a number. It's you can able to go. So I'm impressed that you decided to go for a run in your 40s. Hey, I'm gonna go for a marathon, and I'm in my 40s. Most people in their 40s are trying to figure out I haven't seen my toes in a while. So that's impressive to me. So I'm always curious about the runner's high I hear about. You said it doesn't exist, but I hear.
Yeah, it does. It does, but I've never felt it. I don't know. I think I think
I'd be disappointed if it didn't get it.
Oh yeah,
I'd be if I was running. I like Steve. I've heard about it. Oh man, you're missing the runner's high. Well, I'm not missing it because I've never experienced it. So if I did it and didn't get it, I would be disappointed.
Like when the hundreds.
Yeah.
When you get in there and you get that good pump and you get the burn, and it's like there it is moment.
Yeah.
Like that muscle is all the fibers are working and you feel the burn and it's that's a thrilling for the meathead. What
used to get me excited is I would go over and I could use some decent weights for hundreds, and somebody goes, "Oh, that looks easy." I go, "Okay, would you mind showing me how much you can lift?" They would grab weights that are like 10 pounds too heavy, and I just watch them, and usually about 46 or 7.
I'm surprised they make it that far.
Yes. Yeah. And so I go, "You could put them down and get lighter weights if you like," and it was always a humbling moment. And they go, "No, I'll do it. No muscle to it." And they won't. And then they put it down. And they get 3 more sets, and they do it. So, but I'm just saying
or when you correct somebody's form.
Yeah. Oh, well, the forms always have to. I mean, I go, you should have started at 2.5 pound dumbbells. I mean, it's okay to do that if you want to accomplish the workout, but they were too quick to judge.
Yeah.
I've read about that, and that's easy. Really.
I got to be more of a man than you. Got to show you. Another thing. So I was talking. With you being here, I was talking yesterday with a young lady I was training, and we were talking about music. Would you run? Because we were discussing music, and I said I could never imagine myself being in a marathon listening to the same type of music that I listened to when I would lift. Because when I would lift, it was hard driving up to beat. It had to be something that was pushing me through the next thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know if I put a song like that and I'm driving to LA, I'm doing 90. You don't want to be moving that hard and that fast at that pace. I said if I was to run a marathon, it would be something a little more chill or a podcast because I wouldn't want to think about the fact that I was actually running. I'd want something to distract me.
Yeah, long runs were always was always talk. It was always either an audio book or a podcast because you figure you're going to be running anywhere between 2 and 3 hours at least on a long run. So you want to just lose your mind and just get enthralled in something.
Yes.
And everybody's different. My buddy Dan, he loves the EDM, the doom 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 doom. That drives me nuts. I'd feel goofy after 10,
well,
15
maybe that's
miles.
that runner high that just kicks in with that.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was missing. No, but I listen to everything. I think I'm with you. Something a little more calm for me.
When I would get on the treadmill, have a conversation with myself, and I would probably be so angry at myself after a marathon by talking to myself. I just do. I'll have conversations in my head. Just would. And I can't imagine having a long conversation in my. I would dislike myself.
The contemplation and the things I would have a conversation about.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
On the side of the road. Hey, what happened to Steve? Oh, he's on that rock. I saw him back there. He's really contemplating life right now.
I could get into the eating every 5 miles. That would be something that would be kind of fun. But I like it. Anything you want to leave our audience with, Dave? I mean, honestly, I love doing Lunch Break with Dave's shows on Lunch Break. We have Ministry Matters because he's a very talented musician. Not only is he a pharmaceutical salesman, he also plays the saxophone, the bass, and the stand-up bass. I'm counting that instrument. He said he only played 2, but I did see him play one, the big violin that stands up like that. And he said, well, that doesn't count because it's just a bass. I go, no, that counts. That's a different instrument. You know?
You keep rhythm.
Yeah, yeah.
You are the rhythm master.
So he leads worship. He trains musicians, and he runs, and he has a family, and
he's coming to the dark side.
Yeah. I'm over there now.
Yeah. He's wearing the apparel. He's got a new Beetle too, Steve.
Yeah.
It's a '67 Beetle, but it's new to him because his dad gave it to him. His dad's a real neat guy. He comes to church all the time, and really to listen to his son play
I love
music.
bugs. When I was a child, my mother's.
I remember that.
They used to be Volkswagen clubs out in L.A. And then when I became a teenager, one of the guys I used to hang out with, he's older than me, Johnny's Customs. He used to drag race bugs.
Very cool.
I never knew a bug could stand up until I drove in his bug, and it had a lot of power where it would stand up.
Yeah, not mine. Mine's cruises at about 55.
Yes.
That's about it. It's fast enough for me.
Oh my gosh!
Put the top down.
Now this is a imagery in my head. Is him and your Beetle.
Yeah. You wouldn't fit.
And they're one of the only cars in the world that you can just pour some water in it and it'll keep going.
Yeah.
I love it, Dave. No, man, I love doing ministry and life with you.
Absolutely,
and,
you too.
So, hey, Steve, why don't you tell them where you're at?
Well, I'm located at 7420 District Boulevard, right across the street from Nestle. I hope to see you soon and we can have a good conversation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not about running, though.
Yeah. So I love it. Hey, if you like the show, drop a comment. You want to ask any questions, drop a comment. How do they get a hold of you, Dave?
Instagram, I guess. I'm a pretty quiet person.
You are.
Yeah.
How many years have I asked you to be on my show?
Probably the last 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I feel privileged,
I
dude.
keep telling him no.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Finally, this time he goes, okay, I'm leaving it in 1 year. Can you please come on one time?
I did. I
One
begged
time.
him.
One time. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I said, okay. You really put me in front of 1,000 people on stage with my bass? Fine. Put me in front of a camera? No.
He's done a great job, hasn't he,
Pass.
Alex? Our producer back there is. Hope you enjoy the show. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, like, leave a comment. We'll get back to you. Other than that, God bless.